Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another tutorial. In this lesson we're going to make a start on filling out the player tied state. Now I promised we're going to do something a little bit different to what we've done previously for this state, and that is exactly what we're going to do. Now first things first, if I come up to the top here, if you remember in an earlier video we created a bool for player out of breath and we set it to false on the void start. So I'll come down here straight into the player tired block and we'll say underscore player out of breath and it's going to be equal to true. We'll close the line off and we'll come straight into the comments. So we'll say set player out of breath, and I'm sure you've guessed it's going to be equal to true. Now if you don't understand why we're doing this, it will become apparent at a later date. In a future lesson we're going to create another void down here that's going to act as an adrenaline boost, and I'll get into that in a little moment and I'll explain why we're creating another function at a later date. But for now, let's just come and add some more code. Now, when the player is run out of stamina and come to this state, I want the player to stop and play an animation almost like he's gasping for breath and play the sound effect. But I don't want him to be able to move while he does this. So I'll downsize mono develop. Now in order for the player not to move, we need to disable the first person controller, and there may be other scripts that we don't want active when the player is completely out of stamina. Now at the moment we don't have them scripts in place, we only have the first person controller and the player health script. We'll need the player health script active so we can actually play the animation and sound effect, but we don't want this one active. And as I said, because there will be other scripts we attach to the player at a later date, and because we may not want those scripts active as well, we might as well input code that disables all scripts, and then we'll just set the player health to be enabled. So with that said, let's input this code. So we'll say mono behavior, open and close, and we want the square brackets this time, and we'll give it a naming convention of underscore my scripts. And let's just explain this. We create an array of mono behaviors. So an array is like a list that things can be assigned to, and mono behavior is exactly what our scripts are here, as you can see. So come back down. So we're creating a list, an array of mono behavior, which are underscore my scripts. That's the naming convention, and it's going to be equal, and we want this game object. So we'll say game object with the small g, very important, dot get, and we want get components with the s on the end because this is an array, it's for multiple, so we need the plural. And we'll open and close brackets, we'll come inside, and what we want to get is the mono behaviors. So just mono behavior to the end, open and close brackets, we'll close the line off and straight into the comments. So we'll say creates an array of all scripts on this game object. So there's our array of mono behaviors. This is the naming convention. It's equal to this game object. We get all the components of type mono behavior. We'll enter there. We'll say for each will open and close brackets will open and close. We'll come inside this first set of brackets here, and again we'll say mono behavior, and this time we'll just say script in underscore my scripts, and let's get this into the comments. So we'll say for each script in the underscore my scripts array. So let's go through this. For each mono behavior script in this array, which is this naming convention here, and we'll enter there, and then we can say that though script dot enabled is going to be equal to false. We'll close the line off, into the comments, disable those scripts, and we'll just save that there for the moment. So at this point we're disabling all the scripts, which is both the first person controller and the player health, but we need the player health active. So in order to do that, we can just come back here, we'll enter, and we'll just say get component, open and close brackets will come inside, and we want the player health, come to the end, we'll open and close brackets again, and we'll say dot enabled, and this time it's going to be equal to true. Straight into the comments, enable the player health script, and we'll save that there. So we're disabling all the scripts with these 3 lines, and then we just enable the health script. And as I said, that's because we will have more scripts on the player character that we probably won't want enabled when the player is completely out of breath. So therefore it's just easier to create an array now. That way when we add the scripts at a later date, this piece of coding will still work. Otherwise we'd have had to have inputted code just to disable this script, and then we'd have had to have come back and changed it at a later date. So we've just done this ahead of time so we don't have to come back and edit. Now, as I said, because of this, the player won't be able to move. It will just be able to sort of play its gasping for air animation and the sound effect. And you may say, well, that's all well and good, but if the player is being attacked by an enemy, then all my health is going to drain away. Well, don't worry about that, because as I said earlier, we are going to import another void in here that's going to act as an adrenaline boost. So if the player's in this state and is not able to move, and the enemy strikes the player is going to get an adrenaline boost, which will boost his stamina to a level where hopefully he's able to get away. So that's all coming later, but I think we'll leave it here for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you next time, and until then, bye for now.